Wednesday, June 24th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. We got the decked out in the Canada gear. We got Canada, Switzerland, Bosnia, Qatar, live, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be sweating that game. Guess what? We'll be sweating it on a watch along. I'm super excited. Yes, TQ, I see you in the chat. It is game day, and people are probably wondering, why are you wearing a hockey jersey? Because this is for those who can't see, a Team Canada hockey jersey, and why this one is a little bit more important and why I chose this Team Canada hockey jerseys over a couple of my other Team Canada hockey jerseys, because this is from the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, and guess what? Guess where Canada is playing Switzerland? In Vancouver. Guess what happened when this jersey was last worn in Vancouver? Canada won a damn gold medal. One of the biggest games in Hockey Canada history, in Canadian sports history. So let's follow it up with another big game in Vancouver, and let's get a win out there today, even though we only need a win or a draw. But let's get a damn win for today. I'm excited to get into today's show. We got a lot to talk about. We got World Cup games. We got 6 World Cup games today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Absolutely loaded slates. Is it 4 days or 3 days in a row? I think it's 4. It's 4 days in a row. 4 days in a row, 6 games. Gonna be absolute madness. I'm excited to break that all down here on the show. Plus, no Leafs radio today, I promise. No Leafs radio. But we're going to get some NHL radio because we saw 3 big trades being made. And with the nature of the draft no longer being in person, we often saw when the draft was in person in the NHL, some GMs crossing tables, sharing notes and saying, let's move this guy for this guy, and talking through deals on the draft floor with it no longer being in person, though. I think we're seeing all these deals happen now before the draft, which is making things a lot of fun. And then draft day will become status quo. All right. Got tons to talk about. World Cup, draft day, but I want to lead with something completely different here. Completely different. And if you joined us last week on the show, Barry Horse came on. Barry Horse came on to talk some MLB because you know what? Like, it's MLB's in full swing. We're in mid-season form, almost half, I think just past the halfway mark of the season. And Barry Horse gave us a great futures look. You can go take a look at it and listen to it. A lot of the stuff is still applicable today. But before we left, he left us with a little bit of a nugget. I asked Barry Horse, what is something you're paying attention to in the second half of the season? And he brought up drag on a baseball. And I think I got a little conspiracy theory going on here because the last time, if we can pull up the picture I have on Twitter, we've noticed something pretty crazy here. Let's go to the quote tweet first. Sorry, this is my fault. Yeah, we go to the quote tweet. This is the MLB charts for drag on baseballs, on fastballs in the MLB. This is every single game day, and we've seen the drag rate drop. And what that means, what we learned from Barry Horse, essentially, is when the drag rate drops, it's easier for players to hit home runs. We saw this happen back in 2019, and that was the year where we saw a ton of home runs. Random guys who were bloop single hitters ended up starting to hit home runs. And like, what the hell is going on? And it's very interesting to see because this is happening. This is happening right now. And it started happening in June. And it's time for me to put on my tinfoil hat because why would this be happening in June? Why did the MLB all of a sudden decide to switch to baseballs? Now, if we go back to the tweet that was mentioned before this, we saw, I think it was Ronald Acuna holding up the 2 baseballs and comparing them, almost like trying to show the people, hey, I think he picked up on this. There's something different with these baseballs. Now, the question is, why is the MLB doing this? Pretty simple stuff here. The World Cup is happening. It's soaking up all the oxygen in the sports world. Nobody's watching baseball. I'm sure some people are. But the day World Cup games, 4 games a day, like just absolute madness, there's no time for baseball for most people, for the casual sports fan. So my tinfoil hat here says MLB came together and said, let's dish out the drag balls, whatever we'll call them. Let's dish out these balls, and hopefully we'll get some more home runs and more people interested in the game. I'm curious to hear what you think in the chat because I think this is a real conspiracy theory. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but let's get that juice ball out there and let's get some more home runs so that we can be talked about in the news cycle of the sports world while the World Cup is soaking up all the sports oxygen. All right. That's like my little tinfoil hat theory of the day. The chat is just going crazy right now. I can't say this stuff. If you're listening live, maybe, or if you're listening on audio forms after the fact, rate and review 5 stars, or come over to the YouTube and just check out what they're saying in the chat, because I'm not saying this stuff out loud. Before we get into things here, and speaking of baseball, the Hammer Daily is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Join the action easy to just make a free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. Just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. Guys, it's pretty simple. Even if you're not really paying attention or tapped in to the MLB right now, go look at just who is most likely to hit a home run. This is a free pick. You get to pick someone who's going to hit a home run. Find someone who's most likely on FanDuel. Click on them. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, anybody. Click on them, and then you'll get a bonus bet. A profit boost bonus. You'll get your profit boost bonus, and you're going to be able to use it. It's completely free. You just got to have your guy hit a home run. Don't waste your time by not doing this. It takes 5 seconds out of your day. Do it, and you'll get a profit boost with it as well. It makes no sense not to do it. Even if you're not paying attention to baseball, you should be doing this. Anyways, head over to FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get started. That's FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a home run. Yes, you heard me. It's a free pick on who's hitting a home run. And if your player hits a home run, you get a profit boost token. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, official partner of the MLB. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation, Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org Maryland. Visit gamblinghelp.ma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right. Like I mentioned off the top here, lots to talk about. We got World Cup. We got tons of NHL trades to break down. And don't worry, Joseph Myers in the chat. No Leafs Talk Radio. There has not been a Leafs trade, but who knows? There might be one breaking live. Anyways, let's get into the World Cup games today. We got 6 games today, but before we do that, hold on. We got a contest going on here at the Hammer. We got 8 creators sharing our favorite picks every single match day of the World Cup. And ooh, golly gee, let's take a look at the leaderboard and see who is in first. Wow, by a whopping 7 units. Ahead of second place by over 5 units, it is your boy, the host of the Hammer Daily. This guy right here, up 5. What is it? What's a G-Stack at? 2.6?
Yeah. So
just under 5 units. Just under 5 units for me here. You know what? I love it. I'm in first. G-Stack's in second. Moreto's in third. Listen. Half of the group is positive. I'm carrying the water here, making sure that we don't absolutely drown. Joey Kanish betting draws every single damn day, down 5.7 units. Will he get a draw today? Probably not. Jacob, also, the squad's not doing too bad. We're coin flipping, and then you got me just running out to things. Now, there's been a lot of controversy here in the group chat, calling my winning unethical, saying that I'm making a mockery of the contest. And what an absolute joke that is. These guys just can't handle your boy winning. It's hilarious. They can't handle me winning. All of a sudden, when I'm winning, I'm making a mockery of a contest. The contest is unethical. Jason, what are you doing? It's not fair. Well, you know what? Suck it up, boys, because I'm the winner. I'm the winner winning. Sorry, I'm not the winner. I'm winning right now here. This is hilarious stuff because I don't know what this is. So let's break down the controversy here in just a second. I made a pick yesterday, and maybe I should pull the receipts on this to get to make sure I have word for word exactly what went down here. But I made a pick, and Alex and George vetoed my pick. They said make a real pick. Now, for the sanctity of the program and the sanctity of the group chat, I will not be revealing what the pick was, but I made a pick before the deadline, and I was forced to change the pick. Mind you. I was forced to change the pick. Make me full screen here for just a second. I was forced to change the pick. So I ended up changing the pick. I ended up changing the pick to Ronaldo, 2+ goal scorers. funnily enough, the pick that I was forced off of by the group because they said it was unethical ended up losing. The pick that I picked yesterday, Ronaldo, 2+ goals, plus 215, by the way, ended up winning.
I'm getting blamed for this.
The gambling gods see all. The gambling gods see all. I also had a backup pick, by the way, which would have won yesterday, and Mike can attest to that as well. There you go. Thank you for the nod in the background. So the gambling gods see all. I end up winning. I end up being up 7 units only because George and Alex wanted me to change my pick. Now we got some controversy coming in today because these guys are sour. And I want the chat to weigh in here. I submitted my pick at around 9:15 this morning, I want to say, 9:30-ish.
You were the first.
I was the first. Oh, no, to be fair.
Actually, TQ last night.
TA was the first last night. He submitted at midnight.
Yes.
I was the first this morning to submit my pick. You see me decked out in the Canada gear. Canada needs 2 scenarios to happen for them to finish in first. Canada draw or Canada win. And that's what I submitted. A draw or a win. And George in the chat saying I'm unethical. Well, listen to what George did. I'm ahead, mind you, I'm ahead of him by just under 5 units. Canada to win. Canada to draw. George, mere minutes later, Switzerland plus 140. Isn't that a little interesting? Isn't that a little unethical? George goes the exact opposite of my pick to try and gain ground on me. And we're talking about unethical here. Tell me who is unethical in this situation. Is it myself or is it George? George is the one who is fading me. George is the one who is fading me. Canada draw minus 185. George decided to take Switzerland plus 140. The exact opposite pick of mine. If I lose, he wins. He gains ground on me. He's playing a little bit of a gambit here because if he loses, he's losing even more ground on me. But I see George. He's like, I've been getting lucky in this tournament. I'm a little nervous, so I need to make ground somehow. I think that's unethical. You tell me if that's unethical, guys. Not only that, not only is George being unethical with this, he's freaking betting against Switzerland. I roasted Kanish for betting on betting a U.S. draw or U.S. loss, whatever it was. George is just picking an outright loss against Switzerland or against Canada here. Taking Switzerland at plus 140. Disgusting behavior. Disgusting behavior here. Disgusting behavior. Anyways, I hope George isn't on our watch along because I'll kick him. I'll literally kick him in the shins for fading Switzerland. Yeah, funny stuff that happened.
That was the highlight yesterday.
On Twitter. There. Oh my God. All right. Let's get into the games for today. We got 6 games today. Group B, Group C, and Group A. Forgot about this. Picks.
Oh, yes.
People want picks. I didn't even bring up the picks today. There we go. I mentioned 2 of them. George picking the exact opposite thing of me. So if you're betting every single thing here on this on the daily pick challenge, make sure you pick one of my pick or George's pick, or else you're just going to lose on vig. So don't do that. Be careful. Quickly recapping it. Rob's got South Korea minus the half at minus 165 for those listening. Alex has Switzerland, Canada. First half under a half. Plus 186, maybe expecting a little bit of a slower game. George has Switzerland. We can skip George's. Goon is taking Bosnia minus 1.5 at minus 104. I love that look. Damn, Qatar does not look good. Plus 2 men down, 2 of their starters down with those red cards. I'm taking Canada plus the half. That's one you're going to want to tail. Minus 185. Jacob, I don't know if he has any Scottish roots, but he's taking Scotland plus the half at plus 250. TA's on Bosnia and Qatar. First half over. 1.5 plus 124. And then finally, Kanish with another draw, Scotland and Brazil plus 470. The question is, will Kanish ever win a draw bet? I'm leaning towards the no. All right. Group B starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. We got a live watch along during the Group B games. Switzerland versus Canada, Bosnia versus Qatar. Myself and Rob will be live at 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. 10 minutes before, we'll be sharing all our picks. Listen, I'm going to be giving out picks today as well. It's going to be the same thing, but you're going to want to tune in because Rob's got some picks for us on the show. Plus, I've actually tasked him to do some research for me. Yes, Rob has now become my research assistant because I think that we can cook up a 90 to 120 to 1 SGP that might actually have slight plus EV. I'm mega minding this right now. So you're going to want to tune in to the live watch along, 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. We're cooking up an SGP for you guys. Can't share it with you right now because Rob's doing some research for me as my research assistant. All right. Switzerland, Canada, first game on the board here. Basically, let's break down what needs to happen in these groups as we go game by game. Canada wins or draws, like we mentioned. I'm sure everyone in Canada knows this. They advance as Group B winners. If Switzerland wins, they take the group as well. It seems like Bosnia would need like a crazy parlay of a Canada loss and then a goal differential gap for them to pass Canada in the group. Very, very likely that Bosnia finishes third, but Bosnia, with only 1 point right now, pretty much needs a win if they want to advance or if they want to guarantee themselves advancing. A little bit of interesting thing to note here, the teams that are playing later in the tournament have more of a benefit than the teams playing before because they know what they need to happen. Right now, Bosnia is going to probably go all out to try and get a win because 4 points will essentially secure them a spot. But if they do end up tying, they're going to be biting their teeth and hoping that they can somehow squeeze in with 2 points. And I actually don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's possible. I don't know how possible it is, though. So Bosnia is going to be looking for the win. For the Switzerland versus Canada game, I've heard a lot of talk about how, we can pull up the odds right there on FanDuel because I want to talk about the Switzerland and Canada game first. Switzerland, Canada right now, plus 220 on the money line for Canada, plus 145 for Switzerland. The draw, plus 195. Totals at 2.5. Juice towards the under, minus 148. I'm seeing a lot of talk about this game. A lot of people thinking that it's going to be a slower game. A lot of people thinking it might go towards the under because the draw could benefit both teams here. I think both teams are okay with the draw, and I was talking about that with Rob before we went live to air, but I think I disagree with that a little bit. I think if you're Canada, and I think if you're head coach Jesse Marsh, you're doing whatever it takes to pick up a win because, of course, you want to finish first in your group, but the national pride that comes with finishing first in your group and with a win is pretty massive stuff here. So I think the talk about Canada, maybe Canada and Switzerland shaking hands for a draw if the game gets close and late, I think that might be a little wrong. Flipping over to some anytime goal scorers. I have 3 for today's game. Now, mind you, shop around. If you're going to shop around, though, be sure to double check if it's really that good of a number. FanDuel has a promotion right now that's going on. They've been running it the entire World Cup. It's called the Super Sub promotion. If your player gets subbed off, your bet doesn't go with them. Your bet stays on the field. So, for example, if Kyle Larin gets subbed off for Promise David, and you bet Kyle Larin to score anytime goal, Promise David comes on for him and scores a goal, you still cash your bet. So if you're going to be betting this stuff and you're going to be shopping around, just keep that in mind. How to price that, I really genuinely do not know. Not sure how to price that. I don't know how many minutes these guys are going to play. I'm just assuming they're playing the full 90. So if you're going to be betting this stuff, make sure you're doing it with the Super Sub. And this isn't just a FanDuel ad. This is because that's how I'm factoring this stuff in. I have 2 bets I like in this one, in Canada and Switzerland. I like Kyle Larin, plus 280, anytime goal scorer. My fare right now for him is plus 241. Like I mentioned, I think Canada will be pushing a lot more than people expected. So yeah, Kyle Larin, plus 280, anytime goal. My fare is plus 241. Jonathan David is not a goal. He's right now plus 250, I believe, on FanDuel to score. I can't really see that. Yeah, plus 250 if you just give me another. I have him as plus 303 fare. He's been able to finish in the tournament, but at the club level, his finish, like his expected goals are there, his finishing just isn't there. And maybe that's variance, who knows? But based on that information of the club data, David is no good. So maybe if you find Jonathan David, you think he's going to play a full 90 minutes, he won't get subbed off, and you find better than plus 303, then you can go and play that. The other one I have is Ricardo Rodriguez. Listen, I bet him every single game this tournament. He hasn't scored yet. He is 12-1 for Switzerland. This is where I have an issue with this model, maybe a little bit. I'm betting wingbacks who probably play a little bit more attacking for their club than they do for their national team. It's 13-1 right now on FanDuel. I have 9-1 as fair. Again, maybe the fair price is a little too generous, but I've looked at his heat maps. He's still pressing and attacking up the pitch. He has taken some shots in the tournament so far, so I'm okay playing the Ricardo Rodriguez 13-1 here. I played it before we went live to air. The last one I have, Brielle Mbolo for Switzerland. Not a play at plus 175, but when lineups get announced, we might see some of these prices change. There's a little bit of vague in these prices right now because we don't know what the exact lineups are, especially for the strikers. So I think there's a little bit of vague in Brielle Mbolo. He's plus 199 fair for me, plus 175-ish right now on FanDuel. So again, if you like him to score and maybe you can find him at plus 200 on FanDuel after the lineups get announced, you might want to look that way. All right. That's the first game we got. And a reminder, if you have any plays in the chat, please feel free to share them. We got Connor Hartle saying, I'm on draw plus 210 in Canada Swiss. Well, I'm okay with that. No, normally, Connor, I would not be okay with that, but a draw is a win for Canada here. And a draw is pretty massive. Us winning this group is pretty massive, excuse me. Yeah. If we do end up winning the group here,
We get Algeria or Jordan, I believe. Let me double check. Let me double check. I saw it last night, but I couldn't remember.
Algeria, Jordan, again, huge stuff. All right, let's get over to the Bosnia and Qatar game. Bosnia, like I mentioned, almost certainly needs a win here to advance. 2 points, likely not enough. There is a chance where they can advance, where they're third place and they can advance with a tie, but it still will be really tough for them. Again, if they actually no, I don't even think they can advance with a tie. I don't even think they can advance with a tie. All right. Let's break this one down here. I have my 2 anytime goal scorers for this one. If I can just pull it up. Where is it? There we go. All right. Bosnia, Qatar. I lied. I actually have 0 anytime goal scorers in this one. I think there's a ton of juice on these Bosnian goal scorers because I think they're going to try and score as many goals as possible. They're going to try and blow out this Qatar team. They need to win. Pretty simple here. I have Demirovic fair at plus 131. He's plus 125 at FanDuel. It's very, very small. Again, like I mentioned, the other striker might be in for Bosnia. We won't know until we get the starting lineups in about an hour and a half from now. That could be affecting the odds. I also have Edin Dzeko fair at minus 100. He is currently minus 115. Do with that information what you will. Next game we got. Also, chat, reminder, if you have any bets in this game, don't be afraid to let me know. The next match we have is Haiti and Morocco. What Haiti and Morocco are playing, or what this Group C, is playing for here. Morocco, Brazil. Brazil is up 2 goals on Morocco, I believe. And it's pretty simple. If Morocco can overcome that deficit, they'll finish first. And I think that's what they'll be trying to do. I don't know how hard they'll be trying to do it, though. There's a 2-goal differential because they play either Netherlands or Japan. And there's a likelihood that Netherlands finishes second. That's why playing later in the match or in the match days is almost a little bit more advantageous here because that Netherlands and Japan group will know where, if they finish first, if they finish second, who they will be playing because Group C will already be decided by then. So again, Brazil has a 2-goal differential lead over Morocco. If Morocco can overcome the goal differential lead, they'll be the winners of Group C. And of course, if Brazil drops points and Morocco wins, they will also be the winners of Group C. But I don't really see that happening with, it could happen with Scotland versus Brazil, but it could be something to take note of here. Both games are happening at the same time. And I almost guarantee there's going to be some score watching going on. For anytime goal scorers, I have 4 in this match. It seems I like Scotland a little bit more than FanDuel does. I have Gabriel, who is the center back for Brazil. Big aerial threat. Has scored in the Premier League. Can score How he'll fare against these tall Scotsmen, I don't know. But I have him at plus 782 fair, plus 900 anytime goal scorer. I also have Bruno Guimaraes at plus 357 fair, plus 390 on FanDuel. The only thing with Bruno is just be careful. I would wait again until lineups come out. I don't have the benefits of having lineups out just yet. If he's in a center defensive mid role, I don't like it. I don't like this play. But if he's just a regular midfielder, then that's fine. Last game they played with Casemiro as their lone defensive mid in a 3-1. Was it 4-1-3-2? Yeah, 4-1-3-2 there. Or maybe it was a 4-1-4. I forget what. Anyways, they had Casemiro as their lone defensive mid. If they're going to have two defensive mids here, and Guimaraes is the most likely to be the second one, I would not play it. But again, we don't have the benefits of lineup. I'm assuming he's not going to be a defensive mid, just deploys a regular midfielder. And plus 390, I think, is pretty good. Che Adams, I have the striker for Scotland, plus 578 fair, plus 600 is what it is on FanDuel. And then this one, I don't know about, but McTominay is a really good finisher, is tall, is an aerial threat. I have him at plus 463 fair, way off from the plus 550. So, yeah. If you like that, you can take that as well. So quick recap, that's Gabriel plus 900, Bruno plus 390, Che Adams plus 600, and Scott McTominay plus 550. It looks like the chat, Derek, has Scotland plus 1.5, minus 105. I don't hate that look. We could see a sleepwalk here from Brazil. Because they finished second. They might be able to play Japan in the next round, which is a pretty good draw for them. The next match we have is Morocco and Haiti. Like I mentioned, if Morocco wants to finish first, they'll need to go all out for some goals here. I only have two goal scorers in this match. Not Saibari, who I bet the first two matches. He is plus 100 right now on FanDuel. I have his fair at plus 101. little painful there. If you want to double check and see if he's been subbed out, and maybe you want to take a shot that he's not subbed out, and you can find a better price than plus 100, and he plays the full 90 minutes, and I think that's a good bet. The other two bets I like are Diop for Morocco, the center back. Again, aerial threat. If Morocco, this all hinges on Morocco needing to score goals or pushing to score goals. We don't know what their motivations are. They could be comfortable finishing second in the group, just picking up a win here. 1-0 win like we saw against Haiti, or saw against Scotland last match. So yeah, if they're pushing for goals, set pieces could become interesting. Diop is huge in set pieces, plus 950 for him, anytime goal scorer. The other bet I have is actually on the Haiti striker. Again, I don't know how good this is, but plus 420 is what I have for his fair. Sorry, did I mention his name? His name is Isidore for Haiti. Wilson Isidore. He plays for Sunderland. He's in a Premier League club, which I think is why he's getting like a little bit of a boost here in my air quote model. I have him, like I said, fair at plus 420. Anytime goal score right now is plus 550. His path to scoring, it's pretty simple. Counterattack, Morocco pressing, Morocco wanting goals, and then them leaving themselves open to a counterattack where Isidore can be a lethal finisher with respect to his club and with respect to Haiti. He can score. Simple as that. He scores at the club level for Sunderland. So plus 550, I think, is an interesting play. Connor Hartle in the chat also liking Morocco team total over 2.5. The last group we have is Mexico versus Czechia, South Africa versus South Korea. This one's a little interesting. Mexico is already locked in. Czechia needs to beat Mexico and have South Africa beat South Korea, plus hold their +1 goal differential if they want to advance, or if they want to be second in their group. That seems pretty unlikely. It's almost all but locked up with South Korea as finishing second in their group with around 91% per athletics little percentages they have for where they're finishing in their group. Seems like South Korea is pretty locked in. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't have time to run South Korea versus South Africa, so maybe you're gonna want to tune into our watch along to see if I have any time goal scorers there. But Czechia versus Mexico, I don't know what's going on with Mexico. Again, caveat, we're going to need starting 11s before we bet this stuff. But if you want to bet this stuff right now, I liked Huerta, who might be starting for Mexico at plus 320, plus 304 is my fair. Listen, Mexico might be resting starters. We don't have exactly who they're playing. We can't really use past data on their starting 11s because, again, they could be resting guys for the round of 32 since they've already clinched. Czechia, I have one play as well. I have Schick at plus 185 fair, plus 230 any time goal scorer. South Africa, South Korea, I did not have time to run before we went live. So I apologize to you, chat. I apologize to you. So quick recap, everything I've played so far. We got Ricardo Rodriguez, 13-1 in the Canada-Switzerland. Plus, we have Kyle Larin as well, plus 280 in the Canada-Switzerland game. Nothing in Bosnia, Qatar, but again, keep an eye out for when those starting 11s come out. I have Dzeko at fair at minus 100, or plus 100, sorry. I don't know why. I guess my model spits it out as minus 100. I should probably switch that. Demirovic, fair at plus 131. He's currently plus 125 at FanDuel. Maybe we'll see a movement when the starting 11s are announced. Again, would only play Demirovic if he is the starter, and I would only play it at FanDuel because I'm expecting him to play a full 90 minutes, and there's a likelihood that he could get subbed for the backup striker. Brazil, Scotland, we have Gabriel, the center back, plus 900. Bruno Guimaraes, plus 390. Again, we need Bruno to be a center midfielder, not a defensive mid for that to happen. Che Adams, plus 600 for Scotland. Scott McTominay, plus 550 for Scotland. Seems like I'm expecting a lot of goals in that game. Could be a lot of fun to watch. Morocco and Haiti. Saibari, I have my fair at plus 101. He is currently plus 100. So maybe if that comes down to a plus 105, that's a play. I have the center back Diop for Morocco, plus 950. Then I'm taking a stab on Isidore at plus 550. Anytime goal scorer. Hopefully he gets one off of the counter attack. Finally, like I mentioned, Czechia, Mexico. Schick, plus 230 for Czechia to score. And then Huerta, plus 320 for Mexico. All right. Connor Hartle in the chat mentioning Brazil should want to win the group. They would play a round of 16 in New York, New Jersey, and quarters in Miami. I'm curious, Connor, maybe you can mention in the chat. I'm not sure what their other path would be in terms of location. Did not consider that, but I think this Brazil team is just going to be fine with whatever they get. I'm curious to see where the motivation is going to lie for these teams, though. Very curious to see that. All right. I mentioned this off the top of the show. We got Kirk Evans coming on in just a couple minutes. Before we bring on Kirk, though, quickly, reminder, live, Canada, Switzerland. That's why I'm wearing this jersey. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel. Myself, Rob, and maybe G-Stack George. And if he's there, I'm going to be kicking him in his shins for taking Switzerland. We're going to be giving out bets. Going to be having a ton of fun. We'll be absolutely sweating the Canada game with myself, Rob, maybe G-Sack George, and Mike. Hammer HQ YouTube channel right here. Subscribe. Ring that notification bell to be notified when we go live. As well, it's June. World Cup is sucking all of the sports oxygen. Everyone's focusing on the World Cup. But the number one sport in the world, the one that people love, especially in North America, football, lives on throughout the offseason, and the guys on Forward Cup Progress are still in NFL mode, despite it being the World Cup. They're doing a series called 32 Teams in 32 Days. Pretty simple. 10 to 15 minute bite-sized season previews for each team. They're taking a look at win totals, division prices, Super Bowl bets, and plus some awards markets or player prop markets as well. Videos drop every single day, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Not live, sorry. They go live on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, every single damn day. Yes, that includes weekends. Listen, you don't have to tune in right when they drop, but if I ever have to go on a drive on a weekend, if I'm stuck into the Toronto traffic, you know what I'm queuing up. I'm queuing up the Forward Progress 32 Teams in 32 days. All right. I'm excited to get into our first and only guest for today. It's been a while since I've talked to him. Missed having him around the office. Open invite, by the way, if he wants to come in and watch the Canada-Switzerland game with myself and Rob. We will kick George out for you. Don't worry, Kirk. He's a WNBA and NBA bettor. Cannot wait to get his thoughts on the Giannis trade. Kirk Evans with a fresh haircut. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I like the haircut. You're looking sharp. Do you have a date or something? What's going on here?
I'm like, no, I don't know. I just get my hair cut like every 3 months.
3 months?
Obviously, yeah, I know. I'm lazy. I don't like cutting my hair or shaving my beard, but then I just tell them to chop it all off.
All right. Well, here's the thing is you look good. You probably feel good right now. And
How am I like still in a fishbowl? This is insane.
This I don't understand because what you see is normally not exactly what's being portrayed on camera, but like for yours, you look awful. Like normally we have guests come on, they're like in the background, they're like, "Ooh, I don't look too good. Is my video okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's absolutely fine." But for you, it just still sucks.
It is what it is. I don't know. I truly just don't understand. This is the only video. Like I take video calls with this computer. It's never blurry.
I'm gonna guess you have stuff open, but hey, it's hilarious.
I do have a lot of stuff open.
Yeah, there we go. The guy who's like very, very good at beating NBA hyper efficient markets and WNBA markets can't figure out how to make his camera not blurry. I always think that's funny to think about.
God. Terrible. That's actually fucking terrible.
All right, all good. We had Peanut Butter on yesterday, and the biggest thing in the NBA world, obviously, was the Giannis trade. We had the draft last night. We can get into that. I didn't really mention the draft for you because I don't know how much work you're going to be doing post, like right after the draft. I assume this work comes sort of later on in the off season here, where you try and project guys out. And I don't really think there's much to talk about for the NBA draft unless you have opinions. We can talk about that. But let's focus on the Giannis trade first. I believe Peanut Butter gave the trade a C for Miami and like a B plus for the Bucks. Give me your opinion on this Giannis trade.
I actually think I disagree with Peanut there. I think I would definitely grade it better for Miami than for Milwaukee. Obviously, it really depends on like what your grading standard is here. Like I think Milwaukee did totally fine today, considering what they likely were being offered and like which teams were interested in Giannis. But if I'm grading like how they decided to trade Giannis as a whole, it's probably like a D plus. I think they did a terrible job. I think they waited too long and lost a lot of leverage and got like a completely mediocre package that if you look back at like other superstar trades, this is like one of the worst packages I can think of. And then for Miami, I think it's hard to give worse than like a B here. They're not going to be very good this year. I don't think. Like I think this is one of the. I think Peanut actually, we talked about this offline, said something similar. Like this is like the least consequential superstar trade, least consequential trade of a player as good as Giannis I can ever think of. But at the same time, they're the Miami Heat. It's a super like attractive place to go. And now they have Bam and Giannis. So I think they're still like a year or two away from being really good. And I don't know if it's actually even that plausible that they could get someone in who's really good, who will take them over the top. But if you're the Miami Heat, you have a chance to get Giannis, who's probably the fourth best player in the NBA right now. Still like not super old, should have a bunch of time left. I think it's just worth taking the shot, especially they were in just such a mediocre spot. You can't really tank anymore with the new lottery rules. So I think it's a solid trade for Miami. I would have definitely taken this trade over the Boston trade if I was Milwaukee as well. But I think they kind of bungled the whole situation.
Yeah, it seems like they definitely made a mess of the Giannis situation here. Stuck in now rebuilding mode at like maybe the worst possible time to do so with the new tank rules. Like you mentioned, even though they got some like roster players, maybe they'll be able to flip those for like assets. I don't know. I'm not enough of an NBA like whatever GM mind to be able to identify that here. Quickly, you mentioned the Miami Heat are not going to be. You don't think they'll be that good this year. Put on your GM hat for us here. I want you to talk us through how you would improve this Miami team, what some of their weaknesses are, where their strengths lie with Giannis and Bam, Like if you were the GM looking at this, you have Giannis and Bam locked up for at least the next 2 years. How do you make this team into a championship winning roster?
It's a tough question. I think you want to honestly keep the powder dry as much as possible for this year. I don't think you should go into this year really thinking that you're gonna like win a championship. I think that's gonna be pretty tough. I don't think you want to make any like future facing moves. They just traded pretty much every pick they have available to them. So I think you kind of just want to wait and have like 2028 circled and try recouping some assets where you can make one more like bigger move down the line. They're pretty much capped out. They'll be able to use some exceptions. Free agency is not really a great way to build teams these days in the NBA is anyway. Like there aren't really particularly strong free agents. I think the best free agent's Norman Powell, who was on Miami, who it seems like he's going to leave because he'll be too expensive. I think their weaknesses are pretty clear. They don't have really any good players after Giannis and Bam, who are both bigs. The fact that Bam now can shoot will really help. They should be quite good defensively with those two. I do think they fit pretty well together generally, especially considering like I think Bam is at his best when his usage is a bit lower than it's been the past few years when like they've kind of needed them to create a lot of offense. But yeah, they need guards that are like half decent. They have a lack of shooting, lack of ball handling. So yeah, I think they're probably going to need to either like hit on some diamonds in the rough or try hopefully getting one more guy in the door who's like at least an all-star level player for them to really truly be a championship team. But I would mostly just try to look a bit more to the future, which I think is a bit counterintuitive. You just traded for the fourth best player in the league who's not that young. You're not like, I'm sure in their head, they're like, oh, okay, we can win a championship this year. But like, they're not really anywhere close to OKC or the Spurs. They're worse than Boston still, I would say. They're just really shallow. So like, even like after a massive trade like this, typically the market will like really overreact to how likely these teams are to win the championship. They're still like 20-1 on FanDuel. So I just think it's pretty unrealistic that they're going to win a championship this year, and I wouldn't really want to commit money past this year to try bring in like some mediocre free agents who like maybe will move the needle a tiny bit on a team that's already probably not good enough.
Yeah, I'm just looking through salary swish right now, looking at the guys listed as shooting guards. Let's put the filter at like 20 plus games started. Benedict Mathurin, who's like not even really a shooting guard. Kobe White, Josh Okogie, Peyton Watson, and Norman Powell are the listed shooting guards that are available. And then if you flip over to point guards, it's like Russell Westbrook, Colin Sexton, and those are the only guys who started more than 20 games on salary switch in free agency. So tough. Sounds like if you're the GM, it's a wait and see 1 year, and then you move from there.
Yeah, like you'll be good enough. You'll make the playoffs. They'll be fine. But I just don't think you really want to commit anything past this year.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. All right. That's pretty much in the NBA, unless you have like, did you have any opinion on the draft last night? I got kind of made fun of for suggesting Yaks to Michigan. I texted Peanut Butter that saying like, Yaks to.
I think you texted me that.
I texted you that as well. Yaks to. I meant Dallas in the top 9, but I was in the right. Listen, for him to be picked in the top 10 was plus 240. Morris Johnson ended up being the pick. I can't believe I didn't look that way as well, because he would have been even less likely to be picked in the top 10 because he was being mocked below. Yaks. But anyways, any opinion out of this draft or nothing here?
I honestly did not follow the draft closely at all. The only thing I want on record is that like I'm a massive Darryn Peterson truther. I think the guy's so good. I think that the like media kind of ran with this story of him like checking out of games, whatever, and I think people are really underrating how insanely good this guy is.
So just to be clear, if you were drafting, you would take Darryn Peterson over Dybantsa.
Yeah, like again, this was like very much 15-minute scout, to be fair. I'm not like a college guy. I'm not I just don't really dive into the draft that much. But what I saw from Peterson, I just thought was wildly impressive. I think he's going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. Let's flip over and talk WNBA. Hopefully Amber's in the chat right now because she's been clamoring for you to come on to talk WNBA. She always appreciates when you come on and talk WNBA stuff. You want to just go game by game and break it down here? We'll start with the Mercury and the Fever.
I think we should go award by award. I don't have much for
okay, yeah, sorry. My apologies. I did write down in my notes that you wanted to talk awards. So let's flip over and talk the awards. Let's talk regular season MVP right now. Asia Wilson is minus 250. Paige and Caitlin Clark are both close seconds at plus 650, plus 700, close in air quotations. Talk me through this one.
Yeah, like I think it's obviously a bit lame for me to come on here and say that a minus 250 bet is really, really good, but like Asia Wilson minus 250 to win MVP is an unbelievable bet. When you're betting something like this, like maybe think about it more as like a stock investment than like a futures bet. Unless she gets injured, I don't really see how she loses this award. And, minus 250, it's not like that's like 95%. Like I think she's legitimately around 90 to 95% chance to win this award. So I do think her to win MVP is a really good bet. Despite like it being a bit lame to bet a minus 250 future. It's like, it's overwhelmingly likely unless she gets hurt. I really don't see the path unless she gets hurt. Her stats are just so overwhelmingly good. She's on a good enough team. Like even if they struggle, her stats are just so much better than everyone else's. I don't really see how she loses this.
Yep, that's fair. I will say you have come on this show and given out some minus money futures before, and I have been OKC.
I don't think I gave OKC.
You never gave out OKC?
No, before the playoffs, you asked if I thought OKC was solid. I was a little less bullish than some other people.
Fair.
But I did like it. Fair. And I did like it mid-season for sure. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah. Well, listen, I liked it as
not at minus money. I
liked it as well. We lost, but I'm sticking with you. I'll play the minus 250 here. Asia Wilson, regular season MVP. Flipping over, I guess, to the defensive player of the year, Wilson's minus 145. Does her having being minus 250 essentially to win regular season MVP, does that take away from her winning defensive player of the year?
Yeah, so I think Asia Wilson MVP is an awesome bet. I think fading Asia Wilson DPOY is also a very good look. The tough thing is like kind of deciding on who you want to back here, because I think there are a lot of arguments for a lot of these players. So Asia's won. This would be 4 of 5 defensive player of the years for her. She's going to win MVP again. That's I think also something like at least 3 of the last 4 MVPs if she wins, maybe 4 of the last 5 as well. So like she's really dominated these awards. So I do think there's like a little bit of voter fatigue that has to come in. And also Vegas has just been bad on defense this year. They've been okay with her on. Like she is a spectacularly good defensive player. Don't get me wrong. But like, I think to win 4 of 5 defensive player of the years, you kind of have to be overwhelming. And the fact that they're not even an above average defense overall this year, I think is a pretty big indictment for her to be minus 145. I just think she's way overpriced. I think she's like, if she's the favorite, like I think she's like a 20% favorite, where there's a lot of people really close to each other. And I think there's a very, very good argument she's not the favorite for this award. So take A'ja Wilson MVP, fade A'ja Wilson Depoy. I do think like she has really overwhelming stock numbers, and like she's A'ja Wilson, so people are really willing to vote for her. I did kind of have this argument last year as well, and people were much more willing to vote for her than I kind of thought. Like last year, there'd never been a defensive player of the year on a defensive team that was worse than third in defense. I think they were 8th last year, and she tied for defensive player of the year, and so she won. This year, I think they're 10th on D, and her on-court numbers are way worse. And there are, I think, last year was kind of weird because there weren't that many good cases. This year, I think there are a lot of really good cases for defensive player of the year. So yeah, I'm mega fade on A'ja Wilson defensive player of the year at this number.
So who would be your choice? Is it like Breanna Stewart? Is it Gabby Williams at plus 950? Ryan Howard at plus 600? Angel Reese 15-1? Aaliyah Boston 31? Where are you looking down the board here for defensive player of the year?
So I have 2 horses in this race right now. I will say that I did bet them at different prices. But I still honestly do think they're both pretty good. Natasha Howard at 60-1.
Yep.
And Breanna Stewart at 10-1. Those are the 2 players I'm on right now. Breanna Stewart is like an all-time WNBA player. She's never won Defensive Player of the Year. She's an all-time defensive player as well. She's first in the W in defensive win shares, at least the last time I checked. She's on a top 2. I'm pretty sure they're second in defense right now. They're a loaded team. So I think she's really right up there with the favorites. I think she certainly has more than 10% chance to win this award. And then Natasha Howard she's a bit of a weird case because she has an extremely traditional case. She's clearly the best defender on what is like going to be an all-time defensive team. Minnesota's like 5 points better than the next team on D. And she's 60-1. She's like 3rd in the league in steals. She's actually won a defensive player of the year. I think like 7 years ago. The only thing is, I don't know in like the WNBA, I don't know if she's really considered like this level of player at this point in her career. So like, I think the media is going to kind of have to accept how insanely good of a year she's having. Like she like probably should be top 10 in MVP right now, how good she's being. So I think you just want to take a stab at that at 60-1, considering how ridiculous, like if obviously there's a bit of a hard way to put it, but if A'ja Wilson's name was Natasha Howard and Natasha Howard's name was A'ja Wilson, and they were having the exact same season, putting up the exact same stats, like Natasha Howard would be like minus 500 for defensive player of the year, considering they're 5 points better than the second best defense in the league. They're a plus 15 net rating. She's the center on the best defense in the league by far. They don't have a particularly good cast of defensive players behind her. Like there's no one on the team that you look at and like, oh, this is a player who can kind of really take credit here. So yeah, I'm not sure if people will be willing to vote for her, but I think she has such a good case that 60-1 is just far too long.
All right. Well, listen here. We have if we're taking this 60-1, we have Twitter. We have a network. We have social media. We can get where we can get our opinions out there. We got to start banging the drum for Natasha Howard to get more respect. It's as simple as that.
I agree. We
got to start leveraging this stuff. You send me stats that I should be looking at, and I will be tweeting them out.
Okay, good. We'll start right after the show.
There we go. Quickly to close out here, Coach of the Year, 6th Player of the Year. Any opinions? We saw Shannon Carter drop out of favor. She was like minus, like, what was he, 500, 400 at one point, 600 almost. Now she's like plus 155. Coach of the Year, Cheryl Reeve, minus 115. Any opinion on either of these awards before you head out?
Yeah, so I bet Smesco recently at plus 500. I think it's pretty good. They're tied in the loss column for number 1. I just think that this isn't like, no one has a really great case right now for this other than Cheryl Reeves. So I think if Atlanta finishes the year with the number 1 record, Smesko will certainly get a lot of love. I also think they don't really have an MVP candidate in Atlanta. They have a few Defensive Player of the Year candidates, but I think they're going to kind of cannibalize each other. I think it might be tough to win. I do think Ryan Howard has a really solid chance to win Defensive Player of the Year. But like considering they could like walk into the number 1 seed, they're a really, really good team, and not have a player award. I think that Atlanta has a good shot. So I like Smesko at plus 500. I think it's a little tighter with Hearn Reeves and Minnesota. Like they've been insanely good, but like you could see them falling back a little bit. This is one of the more surprising teams I've ever seen being this good. So yeah, if they fall back a little bit, Atlanta takes the 1 seed. I think Smesko has a good chance.
All right. And
then I have to apologize for 6th Player of the Year. Someone on this show asked me if Solon was good at like 6-1. I said no, because Carter was just such an overwhelming favorite at that point. But it's gotten really weird with Carter, so I actually took a bunch of Solon at much worse numbers than the guy asked me. Obviously, this was different scenarios. Carter got hurt, came back. She played like a combined 15 minutes in a 3-game stretch, which completely tanked her numbers. And now she has a very mysterious illness. And when she comes back, assuming she does come back, which she's a very, very sketchy player, I think she's going to be super limited for a bit as well, which again will tank her numbers. So yeah, I have taken Solon. I don't think I'm betting her at plus 110. That's maybe a little aggressive here, considering it does seem like Carter will come back. But I do need to apologize to whoever that was who asked me that.
Oh, look at you. Apologizing. Whoever says you're not a good guy, everyone always says you're not a good guy. I completely disagree with them. I think you're a great guy, Kirk. I think you're a great guy. People out there are saying that. I don't know who, but I think you're a great guy. Quickly before you head out here, Natasha Howard and Ryan Howard, are they related? No. Okay. Is that fair to ask that question?
Reasonable enough. Howard's a pretty common last name, though.
Yeah, but they both played in the WNBA. Both are probably tall, so there's got to be some relation there. Anyways, I guess not. It is what it is. Anyways, Kirk, before you head out, any final thoughts? You watching the Canada game? You're going to come by the office? You're just down the street. You can if you want.
It's not today.
Is this guy kidding?
Canada plays today.
It's at 3 p.m. Yeah. We're doing a live watch along at 2:50. If you want to, if you don't have any plans, you're more than welcome to come to the office and watch with us.
It's a massive matchup.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
time flies.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Go Canada! I'm wearing Canada. I'm wearing Canada gear right now.
There we go. You coming into the office or no?
Certainly not.
Okay. All right. Kirk, appreciate you coming on. Hope you're enjoying your time away from Circles Off. That was the most recent. This has been the most recent edition of Circle Kirk. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Kirk, hope you have a great rest of your day.
Later. Thanks, Jason.
Great stuff there from Kirk, as always. Honestly, Kirk's the best. Kirk is one of the good guys. Although some people don't. Some people might not say that. I'm kidding. Nobody says that. I'm just grinding his gears a little bit. 12:59. We got to get out of here. Live 2:50 p.m. Eastern time here on this channel. Literally 2 hours from now. Watch along. Be there. Be square. Be there or be square. Sorry. Be there or be square. You're gonna want to be there. We're gonna be having a lot of fun. Can't guarantee winning bets, but can guarantee us having a ton of fun and sweating along the way. Rob, I hear him click-clacking away in the background. My quant is figuring out some 100-to-1 parlays that I mentioned to him. We hopefully will be sharing those right before we go, right before that game starts when we're live at around 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. Couldn't get around to the hockey trades today. I'll save my opinion on that for tomorrow because I'm sure we're going to get tons more action in the NHL here today. Maybe we're going to have Moretto back on, or maybe we have So Money back on for a full 30-minute session on the craziness in the NHL. If you're listening on podcast form, do us a favor, rate 5 stars. If you want to leave a comment on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcasts, we will eventually read those out on air. We just need more comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, smash the like button. Goes a long way.
I was just laughing at the username.
That's crazy.
Also, Josephine Myers was not in chat today.
Joseph. Where's
Joseph. They
Why-
weren't in chat today, so we actually peeled them away from Leafs Talk Radio. Ooh.
Interesting. Well, we missed Joseph today. Hopefully he tunes in for tomorrow. See you guys on here at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. That's it. That wraps up today's show. This has been the Wednesday, June 24th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow.